I'm going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, God.
Because I think Jerry might have something up his sleeve. I don't know if you said there's been a lot of developments in this.
Yeah,
in this
I know
front.
where you're going. I know where you're going. I do not like it. I do not wish this to happen. If it is what I'm thinking, I don't want this to happen.
Are the Cowboys in the market for Maxx Crosby? Are the Cowboys going to land Maxx Crosby? And does this make Jerry a genius or not? Do you think it's going to happen? Obviously, you don't want it to happen, but what are your thoughts on just the general development of it as an Eagles fan?
Listen. Any team should be on the market for Maxx Crosby. Every team.
Fair.
He's a good player. So any team should be on the market for him. I wish the Eagles would get him, but right now we don't need him. We used to need him, but thankfully we had some players on that side that I get. Will they get him? God, I don't know. What do they have to trade for? Do they have picks?
Yeah, they got all those extra picks that they got from Green Bay.
Yeah, but are they good picks or are they just shitty picks? Like, what kind of round picks are we talking about? Like, we're talking about
the Cowboys always have a plethora of picks. They're the same as the Eagles. They draft and develop so well that they always lose players, so they're always getting comp picks. They got plenty of picks. If the Raiders are willing to make this trade, the Cowboys absolutely have more than enough draft capital to make it happen.
I'm sure they have, but if I'm the Raiders, like we're looking at it from Jerry's perspective and the Cowboys' perspective, if I'm looking at it from the Raiders' perspective, why will I trade away one of my best players?
Here's why. He's 28 years old. He's 28 years old, and the team sucks, and they're not going to be good anytime soon. And it's like this is one of those situations where it's like we're not going to get better quicker by unloading good players, but the guy's going to be in his 30s and on the downswing by the time we draft a young quarterback and develop the young quarterback and add weapons and start developing things and getting
That's
things.
A good point.
So the idea is you got a guy who's in his prime that has value right now in season when there's an even bigger price on it because it's like, oh shit, we got a chance to go compete right now. Let's go get a player and we'll throw in an extra pick. So now is, from the Raiders' perspective, the time to unload Maxx Crosby. They say they have no intent on trading him. There's no intention to trade him, which I've heard that phrase before from Rick Spielman when he said we do not intend to trade Percy Harvin. And less than a week later, what did they do? They traded Percy Harvin. So I don't necessarily believe that. That's what you say when it's like, we're not just going to give the guy away. We want you to come make a bigger offer.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I clearly don't want it to happen. Anything that involves any of the NFC East teams getting some trades, some good players in, it's something I don't want to happen. Like, I was happy when I learned that Micah Parsons was being traded to the Green Bay Packers because now they'll have to deal with him. He was our biggest problem defensive-wise from the Cowboys every time they face each other. So now they have to deal with it. So I don't know. Like you said, he's getting up during age, but I just don't see it happening. Not because I don't think Jerry World and the organization doesn't have what it takes. I just don't see it happening anytime soon. I don't think it's going to happen this year. Maybe in the offseason.
I think there's a real chance that this does happen. But the thing is my initial thought was this could make Jerry look like a genius because, again, they paid Dak all that money. They paid CD all that money. They paid Diggs. They paid Bland. It's like they couldn't afford to pay Micah Parsons $40+ million a year. But then it's like, if we trade Micah Parsons, we get a bunch of picks, and then we trade less than all of those picks for another premier pass rusher who costs less money, then we gain draft capital. We swap out an elite pass rusher for another elite pass rusher. And then the pass defense has to get better if you get Maxx Crosby in there because you're going to get more pressure on the quarterback. But then I looked it up, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, and I had a full week to prepare this, so that's on me. But I looked it up because Maxx Crosby makes an average of $30 million a year. Micah Parsons makes over $40 million a year. But when you look at the numbers, you can get out of either one of these contracts after the next 2 years. And the cap hits for Maxx Crosby over the next 2 years are bigger than the cap hits for Micah Parsons over the next 2 years. Now, the Cowboys could swing that either way, but it's not on the surface what you would think of. Oh, we're just going to get an elite pass rusher for cheaper. If you play out the life of the deal, that's true. But I don't think I don't think you're paying Maxx Crosby for 5 more years, whereas you could and probably should pay Micah Parsons for the next 5 years. So that kind of makes it a little bit wonky. I don't know. Micah Parsons might have guarantees for like the first day of the league year next year. The following year becomes fully guaranteed or something like that. So I don't have that information, so that kind of could change the calculus on it. But even still, I do think that there's a real chance. I think the fact that it's in the news means the call's been made, and I think there's a real chance that it can happen because I think the Cowboys' offense is fantastic. They're at 500 right now. If they beat the Broncos this weekend ahead of the trade deadline, they're 4-3-1. I think they make a push to try and go get
the
Maxx
Raiders.
Crosby.
Do need the picks. The Raiders do need the picks. They do need the picks because they are lacking in a lot of the sides of the ball, especially offensively. They're lacking, so they need some weapons and they need to get a new quarterback. They need at least a rookie quarterback, not to start at least, but at least to develop. So they need the picks. So yeah.